someone you might be familiar with and that I have the absolute pleasure of working with.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't know. Can you guys guess? I don't know. But yeah, so today we're going to discuss a paper led by Professor Baijnath-Rodino, published in the Science of Total Environment, titled The Historical Spatiotemporal Changes in Fire Danger Potential Across Biomes.
So this study uses long-term consistent fire weather indices, such as the Canadian Fire Weather Index, to look at when, where, and how fire danger and fire behavior has been changing over different biomes around the world.
Just to get some terms out of the way and try and get a good level playing field, could you explain what a biome actually is?
Yeah, we should start there.
Yeah, right. So, it might be a good start off point.
So what is a biome? Well, a biome represents a particular region of the Earth that shares a very similar climate and similar vegetation, right? And so there's many different biomes in the study. We look at 13 different biomes around the world. So for example, we're in California, and California has the Mediterranean biome, or at least part of California is the Mediterranean biome. And so that comprises very hot and dry summers and very mild and wet winters. Yeah. And the vegetation type here is usually shrubs and drought-resistant plants.
The Mediterranean climate, I know that's a big selling point for California too. People bring that up. It's beautiful. As someone from Chicago, who is very used to that very hot, humid type of climate, I very much prefer here. For that consistency a little bit.
I know what you mean. You're from the Midwest. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Yep. For example, Canada and Russia, the biome there, the prevalent one is the boreal forest. Yeah. And with the boreal forest, there's usually more of the really cold winters. And
gotta break out all the winter jackets.
Oh yeah, all the knits. That's why I love knitting.
Yep.
Exactly. Just wearing. This is a shirt
custom?
Custom.
Look at that. Look at that.
Cold winters and mild summers in the boreal forest.
So what made you want to study wildfire risks across these different biomes?
Yeah, so there's two reasons, right? So many studies have looked at changes in fire frequency and duration, but not a lot have really focused on the actual fire behavior. So the intensity of the fire, the rate of spread, or the fire danger and its impacts. So I was interested in learning more about that and how it's been changing across all these different biomes. Yeah. The second thing is these studies, depending on what area is being analyzed or what time period is being looked at, there's going to be different reports on the trends, right? And so I was interested in understanding, within this past 40 years, what have we been seeing in the trends in these fire behaviors, not only for a very localized area, but across the globe in these different biomes at the continental scale.
You took a look at 13 different biomes with this one, which will give you hopefully a good overview of, it's all these areas around the world.
Exactly. And, as you'll see here, it's different depending on that biome.
So you've been mentioning these two terms with fire danger potential and fire behavior potential. It can sound a little similar, I'm sure. So could you break that down, what those differences actually are between those two?
Yeah, that's a good question. And sometimes these terms are used interchangeably, but they mean different things. Fire danger potential is this overarching term that describes the likelihood of a fire starting, how difficult it is to control, and even its impacts, its overall impacts that it might have. And it sort of refers to many fires in an area. But fire behavior refers to one specific fire. It describes the way that it might be spreading. The rate of spread is fast or slow, the intensity of the burn. So it's actually describing how that fire is actually acting. You may have seen this fire behavior triangle.
Yeah, we love a good fire behavior triangle.
Yeah, so fire behavior is a function of the topography. So is the fire spreading in a mountainous terrain or in the prairies? Depending on where it actually is burning, the dynamics of that fire will be different. Weather, which we talk about a lot here, right? So what are the... So fire weather, so basically what are the meteorological conditions? that are required for burns to actually occur, and then fuels. So fuels can be anything from vegetation, so what is burning, but also structures as well.
Yeah. I actually used this paper in one of my classes I have taken at UCLA, so shout out to Professor Baijnath-Rodino. You brought up the infrastructure as an important part of the fuel component in the fire behavior triangle. As we're starting to approach this more urban landscape, how an increase in infrastructure becoming more of that fuel and how that can contribute to these fires expanded.
Yeah, that's right. Especially when we look forward into the future and to understand how fires are going to be changing over time, we need to really take into consideration what is burning. So the changes in land use and land cover, we're changing from this natural vegetation state to more of a wildland urban interface. We're building more in places and doing construction more in places where it used to be more of a natural fire-prone region.
As you're getting more people moving into those regions, it puts a lot more people susceptible to those as well.
Yeah.
So when you were looking at your data, which biomes stood out to you as having the biggest increase in fire risk, and what surprised you the most when looking through it?
Yeah, when we consider fire danger and fire behavior being like the ignition and the intensity, we see that overall temperate and the tropical biomes tend to see the greatest increase over the past 40 years. It's the temperate and conifer forests and the temperate broadleaf mixed forests, as well as the tropical and subtropical moist broadleaf forests where we see these increases.
So a lot of these fire season shifts are starting to occur outside of that, traditional summer fire months that we'd expect these wildfires to occur. Could you kind of go a little bit more into depth into why that is?
This study actually looked at air temperature and precipitation, correlated that to the fire behavior. And what we see is that air temperature is like that driving factor that's influencing more so the increase in fire behavior activity for the boreal fall season.
What should people take away, especially those that are not in the traditional fire zones, take away from your research here?
Although all biomes are seeing an increase in intensity and ignition and weather that's conducive for fire danger, it's relative, right? And highly dependent on biodiversity in that region. And so it emphasizes here that additional care and consideration needs to go into fire preparedness, mitigation, and land management at various ecosystems and at various scales.
It's been a true pleasure to learn more about this from your perspective.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Bye.